you assholes a chance. What do you say we play a little Bangkok Rules? Nobody draws until this hits the ground. You ready? Draw.
Give me a great Carpenter moment. You know, I mean... Again, you're on Escape from L.A., which is a movie that in some ways didn't entirely stay on the rails, but...
Well, let's face it. You do Escape from New York.
Unbelievable. Starring my buddy, Isaac Hayes.
Why try to follow it up with Honey, I Blew Up the Kid? No. There's only 2 good sequels. And one of them, Godfather 2, is actually the first one, but they pulled out and the second one and then re-released and all that. But I would say to anybody, you don't want to do a sequel to Apocalypse Now.
No. 4 great sequels, in my opinion. You're right. Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back. I would also argue Wrath of Khan and Aliens. But you notice that what all those movies have in common is first-class directors and writers. And I'm not taking anything away from Carpenter because he was one of my favorite filmmakers growing up, always seemed to be up to something interesting. And I think The Thing is one of the best movies ever made, and I love all that stuff. But I know that with Escape from L.A., there was some challenges. And I know from some friends who worked with him on Ghost of Mars that the stories they tell from that is hilarious with Carpenter. I think Carpenter had a hard time believing he was even showing up for work on that. But, you know, I love Carpenter. I absolutely love Carpenter's work for the most part. I think he was an exceptional filmmaker, very creative, out of the box.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their Howard the Duck.
And some of us have more than one. I'm not going to name names, but hey, so real quick though, do you have a Carpenter moment where they like kind of, you said that he did something where he was like actually really excited about the work you did and he stopped a meeting to see what your effects team came up with?
I think, yeah, it's kind of vague because the crazy idea of you know, surfing down Wilshire Boulevard and how are we going to do that? And I've told the story often. We, Buena Vista Visual Effects, we wanted to get the work. And I remember going to a meeting with Mike Lessa, who became the visual effects supervisor. And hearing this description of, and Deborah's saying to us, okay, so here's this scene of Wilshire Boulevard. And they looked at me and said, can you do that? I go, yeah, no problem. And then walking out of the meeting, and Mike Lessa said to me, what's wrong with you? How the hell are we going to do it? I just said, Mike, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's the famous Coppola response. You never say no. You can always figure it out. You just get the job. That's step number 1. And then figure it out is step number 2.
Yeah. If you say, oh, yeah, of course, I know how to do that. No, you don't.
No.
Because no shot is ever the same.
And nobody's ever done it.
And nobody's ever done it. Yes, there's Blade Runner, But do we really want to see Blade Runner 2?
Well, you got it now. It's been out, Blade Runner 49. But here, the thing about Escape from L.A. to me is it seems like a meeting where somebody wanted to do a sequel to Escape from New York which is the right idea. I love the character and the setup. And then it sounded like Carpenter and Hill wanted the paycheck, but maybe didn't want to do the sequel. So they went into the meeting and said, and he surfs down Wilshire Boulevard. And then he plays one-on-one with the villain. And like it seems like they kept stacking on ridiculous. And I think the studio just said, okay, I love it. And they're probably sitting there going, these guys.
So, okay, there's a sequence with the Beverly Hills Hotel. And oh, by the way, did I tell you there's a basketball game and he shoot? It was just, it was crazy. And I think
and Bill Campbell is a plastic surgeon, and he's got this. And I just feel like they threw a bunch of ideas.
Are we doing a Brazil thing? I don't know. I'm confused here. No, shut up. Do the job. Do the best you can, and you can always say, "Hey, I didn't write the script." Well, that doesn't matter. Just show up and do it. And don't complain. Don't explain.
Right. But it seems like they stacked in all these ridiculous ideas and expecting someone to like veto it and say, no, let's just do another movie. Let's do something original. And they just said, it's like that line in Heaven Can Wait when Warren Beatty buys the Rams and the guy's asking the ex-owner of the Rams, how did you sell the team? He goes, well, I said it's going to be $100 million. And he said, okay. And he's like, fuck, because he's expecting like the that's the movies in the 70s. The team wasn't worth that. But it's like, it's funny, like the whole analogy being that, I said something ridiculous, expecting them to say no, and instead they said yes, and now we're stuck. And that seems like the Escape from L.A.
That's, don't ask, don't get.
Right. Look, man, hey, cut the check. And props to Deborah Hill, who we lost.
By the way, will I be paid for this? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the interview's over. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Harrison Ellenshaw. We've taken up too much of his time.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.